Welcome to Average Dude's Slow Pitch.
Yo, Hendra here, the Average Dude's Slow Pitch. Today we're getting a chance to bring out some brand new Pier ASA models. We've got the Pier Lambright and the Pier Sidewinder, both 12-inch half-ounce end loads. Big difference here, they use different paint schemes. Pier's got 3 different ones. I should remember the name right now offhand. I forgot what it was, to be honest. I'll have that for you here at the end. But basically, you have the more matte paint job here on the Lambright. You still got kind of a matte paint job. This has the grippier kind of barrel, thickens it up a little bit, changes the PSI, ball carry, stuff like that. Got a chance to talk to Casey Krasner over there about that. And then we got the Pier Skybolt. I know you've seen this one in the video. This and the Hellfire, two of my two current favorite Pier ASA. So just figured why not throw some swings on this one since I had another new and wrapper right next to the 2 new 12 inches. So we're gonna get some swings here, 52s, see how they perform. Here, we're back out at Centennial. We've had a bunch of crazy weather this week with winds and stuff here. New Mexico highway shut down. Finally got a day we can hit, but there were no field reservations available. We know somebody who coaches over here, so we've got this field. If you're wondering why it doesn't look lined up just right, because the sun goes down here in left field, we're trying to mitigate it the best we can. So obviously center field is gonna be more like, since we're lined up here, the center field's basically our left field and vice versa, but this whole field's 310 around, so it doesn't make a big difference. But let's go and get some swings before we run out of light, see how these perform, come back, final compression, final thoughts. All right, let's see where our Piers are starting compression. Yes, we've done a full review on the Skybolt before, but just figured, hey, why we got another one, it's basically new and wrapper. Let's see where all these compare with one another, because, well, we love the Skybolt and the Hellfire, and should just see what the Lambright does for us. This has to be at 1250. It would have helped if I had the conversion chart ready for you guys, but that's at 180. And real quick, looks like I got this thing quick saved. At 180, the conversion chart tells us 184 is 1300, 178 is 1275. So either way, that gives us actually a pretty game ready model with this saying, and it's on the barrel actually, where, don't even know if you can see it necessarily. This ain't gonna focus enough. Bad attempt there, but 1250. So we'll see how that compares there. The Skybolt, this is an 1150 model here. So 100 lower there than Lambrights, which I'm guessing has something to do with the 12-inch barrel, is the best thing I can guess on the tech there. And on the Skybolt, if I remember correctly, this thing starts, yeah, real high. We're looking at, this says 350. I just don't know if that is correct. Before we continue real quick, calibration chart, 350 plus or minus 25. Just make sure nothing weird has happened with the tester, because that is pretty wild. So at 0, looking for 350 plus or minus 25. And we're like dead on 350, barely above. So I'm going to put the Skybolt back on there, and it'll be interesting to see if it really starts there, how this thing feels. And then if it does feel terrible for some reason, maybe we got a dud, I don't know. And then I'll throw the Sidewinder on. Okay, there's 0 again. We're going back. I'm going to realize I did something weird on the first one. You guys probably already saw it and were trying to correct me this whole time. But either way, this one is sitting just under 220, which puts us at 219, 1450. So about 200 PSI here, about 300 PSI there, about 100 PSI on the Lambright. And then here on the Sidewinder, another 12-inch barrel. We've got to be at 1250 on this one. So I guess I was wrong about the barrel playing the part in the testing. But on this one, 1250. And I might be confusing myself all the numbers. Yep, I lied. The 2 12-inch barrels. So sorry, Sidewinder, Lambright, 1250. The Skybolt, 1150. So the 12 inches are 1250. And this one is like 250 on the Sidewinder. Only difference between these ones is the different paint tech. I don't remember exactly what they call them, but just know they're slightly different there. I'll talk about it more at the field. But at 250, this one is sitting 1575. So interested to see how this one compares compared to the Lambright with those starting compressions. We'll get swings, see how they feel, and come back, final compression, final thoughts. All right, up first we got Terry Lambright's 12-inch half-ounce end load. Honestly, one of my favorite paint jobs last year was that wood grain with the blue. Now we got the wood grain with the orange. As a Giants fan, San Francisco that is, loving the paint job.
102 miles per hour.
All right, Terry.
101 miles per hour.
Yeah, so no different than normal with Pier. The one thing I really like about them, like Monster, you got to get some swings obviously to really get to that fib. It seems like with Lambright, with Pier, you can really hear and feel that pad working from almost swing number 1. Again, first 12-inch I think ASA wise, at least I can think of. But so far, great start. Feels really good. I mean, I expect it to be good compared to the way that Hellfire and that Skybolt were. So we'll keep going here, but great exit velos early on for an ASA bet.
103 miles per hour.
Oh, man. Oh, boy. And this one came in a 25, 26. There was no 27, so we got the 26 model as well. Don't think I mentioned that earlier on.
97 miles per hour.
Oh, boy. Way out of here. Oh, and again, the little bit of wind we're getting today, it also helps where we move to. We've got it blowing either kind of just in towards where kind of the near first base would be or directly in. So we also took a little bit of the wind aid away by rotating around this way.
92 miles per hour.
That was a miss towards the end cap. And I say towards the end cap, I mean higher up on the barrel, but we carried just shy of the 310. So, I mean, I'll take that.
92 miles per hour.
And that's as hands as you can get. That one actually hurt. So there's two bad swings in a row, and both of them gave us almost mid-90s.
104 miles per hour.
Oh, buddy. All right.
103 miles per hour.
Yeah, there's, again, when you catch that, really most of the barrel, you can get the sound and feedback and really hear and feel that fib working, and it's just jumping off this thing really good, even with these wind gusts we're getting blowing almost directly in on us.
104 miles per hour.
That one felt really good. Let me
99 miles per hour.
Holy moly. That seems like you're going down. That ball was pieced, but here's Terry's bat. We're going to see what it looks like compression-wise. I mean, again, if I remember correctly, we had 100, 150 PSI to play with. 52s don't usually drop these very much. Don't really see any webs so far, but I mean, another absolute great model here from Pier. Let's go over to the Sidewinder now, see how it compares, and then we'll finish off with a couple swings with the Skybolt and get back home to the garage. All right, Pier Sidewinder. Again, another 12-inch, half-ounce end load. Just a slightly different paint coat here, which, again, talking to Pier, BTG is what it's called. That's the name I was forgetting earlier. Definitely does change the kind of performance, compression, things like that. So we're going to see right now.
104 miles per hour.
I would say that's a good start.
I think so.
Holy moly.
98 miles per hour.
Yep, there's the fib working. You can hear it. So we're off the fence again. I mean, both these bats have, I mean, a great sweet spot, great sound, great feel, good feedback. I mean, I love the Hellfire and the Skybolt, and so far the Sidewinder and Lambright have not even come close to disappointing. They were going to possibly get into the bag here. We'll see in a minute when we try out Skybolt.
102 miles per hour.
Yep, nice and easy. Ball flies off this thing.
93 miles per hour.
Oh boy, that one felt really good. Yep, out of here easy. Again, I mean, we've talked about it with my Hellfire, for instance. Even after the video here, probably another 100 feet swings on it, and then it completely switched gears. So the fact that these are as good as they are out of the wrapper where they're testing at, they only get so much better.
104 miles per hour.
Last one.
96 miles per hour.
We're going to end on a slight miss because that thing carried way out of here. But again, the Sidewinder with this paint, there is some webs you can see starting, but not much. Again, we'll get this Lambright back to the garage, see how they're testing. Both so far great options. The pad is just, I love being able to hear it, feel it, good feedback, good forgiveness. Let's throw the Skybolt out there for a handful of swings to see how it compares, and we'll wrap this thing up. All right, lastly, we got the Skybolt. This one's a 27, 1 ounce, so an ounce heavier than those two, and then obviously the full ounce end load, which we should see a little bit uptick in the velo realistically, but again, this and the Hellfire were the two, along with my OG DNA Monster in my bag. So just wanted to kind of compare this against it. This one, however, like I said, coming out of the wrapper, just to kind of get a pretty direct comparison.
101 miles per hour.
Hand jammed 101. There's the Skybolt for you.
101 miles per hour.
Yep, there it is.
99 miles per hour.
Yeah, there's that consistency for you.
98 miles per hour.
Yeah, so I mean, so far, not seeing a huge difference between the two, other than I think the feedback is a little bit better on the 12 inches, probably at the smaller barrel with that. It's probably slightly stiffer sweet spot, but from knowing the Skybolt and having swung those, I think the 13 inch will give you a little bit more forgiveness. But if you're like a power person, you put in BP, confident that you're going to catch the sweet spot area, which is large on all of them, the 12 inches seem like the way to go. We'll get a handful more swings here at Skybolt just for a good comparison and talk about more in the final thoughts.
105 miles per hour.
There's the no kidding sweet spot on the Skybolt.
103 miles per hour.
Yes, sir. Skybolt.
104 miles per hour.
Yeah, well, there you have it for the Skybolt. So again, all three great options. We got a couple more bats we're trying to get knocked out tonight, so I'll talk about these more in the final thoughts. Getting back to the garage, final compression, but great options. You should restock all of them here at Pier before too long. I know they just sold out recently, but keep your eyes peeled. Definitely a really good option. Again, we'll talk about more in the final thoughts. All right, we're back at the garage. Up first, we've got Terry Lambrite's 12-inch half ounce. 1250 is the compression mark here on this one. Dial that up. We're sitting pretty much 175, maybe a hair under. So that puts us at either 1275 or right at 1250. So pretty much right at the 1250 mark here. That's on the bat. We're going to quarter turn one time. Check that out. And then here real quick before we throw the other bats on, just make sure we're good to go as far as the tester goes. And as a reminder, we've talked about it plenty, but here in New Mexico, we tend to get a little bit lower compression. So yeah, there on that side, we're just a hair under 200. So either way, you're anywhere between having there just a little bit of compression kind of to go, or obviously a nice chunk regardless. If either of these next ones test kind of low, I'll throw that calibration disc on there, but it was good a few bats ago as we got some other videos knocked out. Sidewinder up next, also 1250. Again, these 12-inch models are that 1250 mark. And this one's plenty high. I mean, we're talking a little bit under 220, which puts us about 1450. So tons of wiggle room there on the Sidewinder. Again, this has that BTG paint scheme on there, whereas the Lambrite's just what they call their, I think it's like just flat or flat matte, something like that. And then we've done a full review like we talked about before on the Skybolt, but just to kind of see where this one's at for comparison purposes, since we did use it here on the video. This one's an 1150 mark. And this one is at a little over 220, so that puts us at about 1475. So either way, tons of wiggle room on those Skybolt and the Sidewinder. Again, those have the BTG paint schemes, whereas the Lambright has that flat paint scheme, which I've noticed in the past does make a little bit of a difference there with compression. We'll talk about a little more in the final thoughts. Not really too concerned with it. Haven't had any issues with the ASA from Pier. All right, and that's going to wrap it up here for the Pier Sidewinder, Pier Lambright, and Pier Skybolt. Again, these two over here, 12-inch barrel, half-ounce end loads. Big difference is this has their flat paint type scheme, tech, whatever you want to call it. This one has the BTG, and then the Skybolt was the 13-inch barrel, 1-ounce end load BTG. Again, we have a whole review on this one. Maybe you've seen it, maybe you haven't. Either way, because of how much I like this, I wanted to compare it to these two. And really what we saw there, I've talked about in the past with Pier. The one thing kind of I've noticed with these ones, and I compare it kind of to Monster, because to me the pads and the fibs feel pretty similar, is with Pier, I found that you can kind of get the feel and be able to tell you're utilizing that pad tech from pretty much swing number one. When you make good contact in the sweet spot areas, you can definitely feel that pad. Now, obviously, as you get higher, lower on the barrel stiffens up a little bit. That part's not broken as much. Takes a little bit more to get to the pad, but you can get some of that top end performance really kind of from swing number one. And so far, we've had really no issues with any of them compression-wise. Yeah, we saw the Lambrite was sitting just under 1300. Again, here in New Mexico, we are at elevation. We see 10-ish to 15 PSI. Increases all the time when we move towards kind of like sea level, Florida, Georgia, whatever. So with that being said, that would make it so where it's not even close to the 1250 mark. So I really wouldn't worry about that. I've got a Hellfire. I've got another Skybolt as well that have probably 400 plus swings on them. They're just fine. None of them are failing. So I'm not really worried about that there. Between these two, I'll say there wasn't a significant difference that I could really tell feel-wise. It did seem like the Pier Sidewinder, and maybe again, same as like with the Skybolt, that BTG tech helped it kind of start a little bit hotter. And with the matte paint job, or sorry, flat paint job, needs to just kind of break through a little bit more. But you can see some webbing in the sky or in the Sidewinder. Not really any here in the Lambright that I can tell. So lets me know that maybe it's kind of the way, again, the paint's wrapped, things like that, takes a little bit more break in. But both of these two were absolutely gas, felt great. Tons of forgiveness, especially for a 12-inch barrel. And then with both of these being 26 half ounces, they feel pretty darn true. Maybe slightly heavy, but not by much. And it was definitely easy to control. Didn't have to worry about bad head dipping, anything like that. So either way, any of these could be great options. If you're somebody who wants to go 12-inch, obviously here they are. If you're somebody that's been looking for like the Hellfire Skybolt, maybe they're out of stock, can't find one, or you've been kind of like, hey, I want to swing one of those, but I prefer 12 inches. I would go ahead and make that switch to the Sidewinder, the Lambright. Both these were great. Feel good, have kind of that semi-stiff type of handle feel as well. So you get really good feedback while also giving you that top kind of exit velo with excellent forgiveness. So for these though, you can head over to Pier Sports website. I think they're currently out of stock. There's supposed to be a restock on all of them relatively soon. You can use code ADS for those over there. If they're not on there, reach out. Might have a couple buddies I know of that I think have some of these left on hand. I've actually got one extra Lambrite still in the wrapper as well. Probably won't be keeping multiples of really any of these. Got enough bats as it is. So reach out if you're kind of looking for one. Didn't get a chance to get one. But either way, check out the rankings over there, how all these stack up with everything else on averagedudeslowpitch.com. As always, in the description of the video, we have our link tree. It's got links, codes to all the different sites to help you out with best pricing possible so that you can get obviously the bat that you want in your hands as cheaply as possible and ideally as fast as possible, depending on those shipping options there. But either way, hopefully this helped you decide on which one of these you want to pick up. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Have a great day. Thanks for the support.
Thank you for watching Average Dude's Slow Pitch. Remember to like, share, subscribe for more content.